In January, it was announced that Korean pianist Choi Hyun, currently a professor at Seoul National University, would join the piano faculty at the prestigious Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins University in the US. She has led a distinguished career as a soloist and chamber musician, but has also taught a new generation of students who went on to win major competitions as well. Professor Choi has joined us now for this week's Touch Base in Seoul to discuss her career and future plans. Professor, hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on the show today. First off, congratulations on joining the Peabody Institute. It must be exciting.
Yeah, exciting and scary too. Well, yeah. What did I do?
Well, I mean, tell us, what's the process been like for you to be considered and then for you to get it? How have you felt about all that process?
Actually, the process was quite sudden and quite quick. And I had to think a lot of things in a very short span of time. And when it was finally finalized, when I made the decision, they made a decision, I made a decision, and it met. So what did I do? What happened? And then, so what's the consequences? What's going to follow next? Yeah, it was quite exciting period at the end of last year, and yeah, very interesting time.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be quite the honour, but also quite a change. But it is the culmination of a very long and successful career that you've had. Can you take us back to the beginnings of your career for our listeners? I understand that you began piano and music at a very young age.
Yes.
In fact, your debut concert, I believe, came at the young age of 6 with the Incheon Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yes. I was 6. I was first grade of elementary, and I was small kid. There's also a big kid now. So small that I couldn't reach the pedal of the piano when I was giving this debut concert. And of course, I was very lucky girl to have debut with orchestra. My family lived right next to a private piano studio. That's where it began. I was 3 years old, and there are lots of older kids, elementary kids, who came after school to learn piano. I waited for them whole day, and when they come, then we played together games, and I played also piano, imitating them playing, and that's how it started. And the teacher then eventually noticed that I could do something on the piano, and she decided to teach me and asked my mom for permission. So that's how it began, my long relationship with piano.
Right, so quite humble but also fortuitous beginnings. When did you know that you would continue pursuing it? When did you know that it would become your life career?
I think from the beginning, but that was just a dream.
Right.
I was too little to think about career. I had no second thoughts. It was just joy. I loved it. It was fun. But things were happening like competitions and winning prizes and so on. And then the time came when I was in Germany. I was 19, the second year. After winning certain competition, after giving this winner's concert, then it began doubting, questioning myself about music, career, life, vocation. And I started looking around and looking for other subjects to study, like literature, theology, philosophy, history, and things. And then it lasted quite long until I was crushed with some physical trouble that troubled me playing piano. And ironically, then I realized that this is going to be my vocation.
Can you tell us a little bit about the physical trouble that you had,
trouble, yes.
if you don't mind?
It's kind of quite well-known pianist disease.
Right.
With shoulder and things. And my hands were almost like paralyzed, and I couldn't touch the piano because the pain was so much.
Wow.
And of course, doctors searched and checked, but nothing was found. So I think that was kind of related with my psychological trouble I went through, and that eventually my body was reacting to it. And then that was a point then I found where I was and my inner voice, and to find a harmony with it, and then started to heal, recover, and that's I found the inner peace to accepting. That's my vocation.
Wow. So even though you're winning competitions and being successful up to that age, you said 19, I think.
Yeah.
You were doubting, you weren't sure.
Yes.
But then once you almost lost it, that's when you kind of valued it again.
Yes. And then later I realized all my wandering times doing and looking around these subjects, that was a nourishment for my music.
And yes, you won prizes at major competitions such as Capelle, Epinal, Busoni, Viotti. You've also won prizes in all 4 major Korean piano competitions, including the Donga Music Competition. Yes. Looking back now at all those wins, what do you make of it?
I was from a family of modest means, and learning piano was a luxury for me, and giving a concert back then was just simply out of my reach. And I knew that my mother was silently wishing that I would quit piano. So I knew then this competition was the only way that I could prove myself worthy enough to study further. So I worked very hard, and plus I had amazing teachers, supporting me technically, musically, and psychologically, everything. And plus I was lucky.
So at that difficult point when, you were doubting, you had doubts about whether you wanted to continue, but you said you realized that, you wanted to continue as a career. What made you realize? What was it about music and piano that you wanted to continue with? I
think that's the inner peace. That's what I think, not only in the piano, in other fields, you search and you doubt. I think without doubting, you cannot find the truth. Without questioning, you cannot go to the very core of an essential thing. And when you find it, I think it gives you real, very deep peace. And there you need to find an accepting points. It's not only a desire, it's not only dreaming, but there is a certain point that you meet the essence. I think that's it.
So it's the love of music, then, is it? You would say?
But it is love, but it's not just liking it. It's more like fate, yes.
Let's jump to also your teaching career as well. After studying in Germany and the US in 1999, you were appointed as a professor at Seoul National University's music department as the youngest faculty member, and you have taught more than 30 students who have gone on to win national and international competitions. How have you found that side of your career, teaching, and what do you think has made you such a successful teacher?
Actually, I was struggling teacher. And this is really sheer luck that so many competition winner because competition was not my goal of teaching. And they also failed a lot, but I didn't care. But my goal was more ahead, and so I cannot say more than just luck. And I had a terribly good students. amazing students with whom I could just talk like colleagues. And in the beginning, because I was brought up in a conservatory system in Germany, and it is the university system, it was hard for me to understand the system and the curriculum and so on. And I was a very demanding teacher. SNU students is very capable of learning, very quick, adapting, and their concentration level just oftentimes amazes me. But hard thing was to teach them loving, music loving, human loving. That was a difficult part. That correlates to what you said about vocation, finding with love to this genuine love to music, and that I wanted to bring, but I struggled to deliver this to my students. Most of them realized it when they go abroad and meeting other teachers in other culture, and that they're writing me. Now I understand what you're struggling to tell us. Yeah, that has been my years in this.
I guess that's from what you learned from your time when you were younger as well. You wanted to give those lessons to your children, to the students as well. Not just music, but more than that as well. And as we said, we began with the fact that you will join the Peabody Institute in the fall. What are your expectations for that? What are your goals? What do you plan to do there?
Yeah, it's a big challenge, adventure. But I also very much look forward to meeting and getting to know the distinguished colleagues and the students of diversity, diverse students with diverse goals and from diverse culture and diverse potential. And I look forward to growing together with them.
And you'll be continuing to perform over there as well, right?
Yes, performing and teaching. It was in the beginning like a separate, two different activities, and I struggled to cope with them. But with the time, it merged into one activity. So I teach like I'm performing, I perform like teaching. So it became just one part. So I think I will continue performing and teaching.
Well, we wish you luck on your new position, and it sounds like you will inspire more amazing musicians to come as well. We'll have to wrap it up there. We've been speaking with the pianist Choi Hee-yeon, the newest member of the piano faculty at the Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins University. Thank you for your time today.
Well, my pleasure.